They learn with us in Arizona, in New York, and welcome, folks. Torah portion, Chukas. We continue in the sixth reading. Today's teachings is Le'ilu Nishmas, is for the exaltedness of the soul of Shulamis Bas Leib. Her dear husband Yitzhak is here. He's a tender young age of 94? 95. One second, Yitzhak. One second. I'm putting the camera.
Wait.
I'm putting. Yitzhak, please wave. Okay, there he is. This is being shown around the globe. Everybody is joining us. We have students from around the world that are joining right now, here and around the globe. Yitzhak, 95. We're celebrating his wife's passing. Yortzeit. Celebrating it because we have a l'chaim and we have some food, and we remember her. And how we remember a soul, the best way to remember a soul is by learning on behalf of that soul, and that engages the soul on high, that they also learn. Okay. Okay, let us go. Yisu b'nei Yisrael, and the children of Israel, they journeyed v'yachnu ba'avos, and they camped in a place called Avos. The Yisu mi Avos, then they journeyed further from Avos v'yachnu Varim, and they camped in the wasteland, Bamidbar, in the desert, by the passageway of Varim, passageway Asher al pnei Moab, that is on the face of Moab, the Mizrach Hashamish, towards the rising of the sun. Rashi in number 11. You have booklets. You can follow on the screen. The Varim, the passageway, or the ruins of the passes. Lo yadaiti lama nikra shma yim. Rashi says, I don't know why it's referred to as yim, which means a ruin. V'lashen churbahu. The word in Hebrew means a ruin. Davar chatut b'matate, something that's swept away with a broom. In other words, the leftovers, the dirt on the floor that's swept away with a broom. The idea of ruins. The ayin bo yisod levada, vehu milashin ayim barad. Okay. Next Rashi avarim. Rashi explains, Derech ma'avir ha'ovim sham al har navoy. This is the way of passage of those who pass Mount Navo, El Eretz Canaan, to the land of Canaan, to the Canaanite line, to Israel, in other words. Shehu mafsik, because it interposes bein Eretz Moab, between the land of Moab, Le Eretz Emori, to the land of the Amorites. Apnei Moab and Mizrach Shamish, facing Moab at the east, literally means the shining of the sun. The Mizrach Shel Eretz Moab, from the east of the land of Moab. So you can see a picture over here. Here is Moab. Here's the Dead Sea. Here's the land of Canaan. Right, the Jordan River is over here. So we're talking about over here. The land of the Amorites and the land of the Moabites. Okay. Then from there they journeyed and camped along the stream of Zered. And from there they journeyed and they camped on the other side of the Arnon. This is the Arnon River. The Arnon River goes into the Dead Sea. Over here, you see? Goes into the Dead Sea. Which is in the desert going out from the boundary of the Amorites. Right? Because Arnon, this river, Arnon, was the border of the Moabites and the Amorites. Right? It was in it was a border. It bordered the two nations. Rashi in 13, from the border of the Amorites. Tchum Saif Meitzer Shalahem. This is the end, the limit of their boundary, the farthest point of the boundary that it extends. And similarly, we say Gvul Moab, the border of Moab, Lashon Kotzav. It means an extremity, right? Me'ever Arnain, from the other side of Arnain, Yikifa Eretz Moab, they went around the land of Moab. Because remember, the Moabites they couldn't start up with, right? So they went around. Brian, thank you for coming. God bless. Join us more often. And they went.
They get here at 7:30.
Shimeleb.
I know. It's, the whole world's listening to what I'm saying now.
I'm just protecting you. I'm your lawyer. I'm protecting you. I don't want any, God forbid, any, plaintiffs again, to come.
I can't hear you.
It's okay. Kol Mizracha, from the entire eastern, the southern rather and eastern sides, until it comes to the other side, the opposite side, the northern end, the land of Moab, Arnain to Arnain, which is in the land of the Amorites. Between Shaleres Moab, the northern end of Moab. That goes out from the border of the Amorites. A strip goes out from the border of the Amorites. This belongs to the Amorites and enters the territory of Moab at Arnoin until Arnoin. Moab, which is the border of Moab, Israel, near the Israelites encamped. And they did not enter the territory of Moab, because Arnon is at the border of Moab. And even though Moshe did not state this explicitly, Parsha Yiftach did stated it explicitly. Kamishama Yiftach, as Yiftach said, Vegam El Melech Moab Shalach, also sent to the king of Moab. And he did not agree. Moshe Ramza, and Moshe only alluded this in the verse, Kasher Asa Li B'nei Esav Yeshim B'Seir, as the children of Esav did when they dwelt in Seir, did for me. Moab and Yeshim Ba'ar, the Moabites who dwelt in Ar. In other words, the children of Esav, the children of Moab did the same thing. Ma'elu, just like these, like Nasr and Lavar, they didn't give the Israelites a pass, in their land. And like he from the Savi, but they went around. Af Moav Cain and Moav too. So in other words, the Israelites over here, Moab, they couldn't start off with the country of Moab. They asked him to pass through to go into Israel, but they wouldn't give him permission. Just like the Amori didn't give permission, right? The Edomites didn't give. They also didn't give. They didn't give them permission. Zen Spetter. Yeah?
Ja, schwer.
Wir seien schwer. Probieren. Ob nicht, dann komm morgen. Morgen. Komm morgen. Sollte sein gesund und stark. Sein gesund und stark. Warum der lief? Warum der lief?
Everyone walks around and walks every morning.
Unser Yitzig. Da kommen mehr oft. Da kommen mehr oft.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Yes. Simchas.
Amen. Zaina Simchas. Well, Mazel Tov. We're in a clock, yeah? We're in a clock. Baruch Hashem. All right. Yitzhak, say hello to everybody. This is Yitzhak, Kanai Nahara, in his 96th year. And he's full of energy. He goes to work every day. He goes to work every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tiger benched. He's running off to go to work.
Bless him. Yeah.
That's something amazing. Holocaust survivor. Actually, he's not a survivor. He's a thriver. He's a thriver.
Baruch Hashem.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing.
Brother and sister have one and two. Now his own. Very nice. Morgan the free, Morgan the free. It's it. Shabbos in the free, Shabbos in the free.
6:45.
Shabbos in the free.
Yes. God bless.
Tomorrow morning.
You're well.
But tomorrow morning also, tomorrow morning. Need someone to bring him patients.
Yeah, his transport.
Anytime he wants, he can come. Huh? You put the onus on him. Good guy. So good to see you. I'm gonna call you.
Wow. Beautiful.
When the saddle on the dog.
Okay.
I'm bringing the dog to Shabbos.
Alkane. Hard to compete with a 95-year-old, you know, Holocaust survivor. Something amazing. Something amazing. Okay. Alkane, therefore, Yamar. It was told, B'Sefer Melchamas, in the account of wars, Hashem, the wars of Hashem, is Vahev V'Sufa V'Sanicholim Arnain, that he gave at the sea of reeds and the streams of Arnain. Sounds a little poetic over here. What does this mean? Alkane. So concerning this, Al-Khaniyazu, on this encampment, Nisim Nasuba, there are miracles that were done at it. Hashem, that we said in the story of wars of God. When they tell miracles, that were done to our forefathers, they will relate as Vahev, the gift that happened here. Is Vahev, what was given over here? Kamoi is Yahev. The words Vahev is like the gift. And they said from the letter of the part of the root, that's to save us lahem, and he bestowed upon them. Here Benisim, he did many miracles. B'Yamsuf, by the sea of reeds. Ves, the third Rashi, Vesanicholim Arnain, Kishem Shemisaprim Benise Yamsuf, just like you tell the miracle stories at the sea of the reeds, Kach Yeshasaper, so you should tell Benise Nachale Arnain, by the miracles of the valleys of Arnain. Sha'afkan, here too, Nasu Nisim Gedalim, great miracles were done. Mahem Anisim. And what are the miracles? The next verse. In other words, so this is just preparing for us. They're here at this place, Arnon. They're ready to go into Israel, right? And so there are miracles. This is comparing, the verse is comparing the miracles of God, the wars of God and his miracles, to this splitting of the sea. And now what's going to occur here? Okay? Verse 15. So we're going to see over here. Very interesting. Very fascinating, actually. The Eshed HaNecholim, and the splitting of the streams, Asher Nata Lashevetz Ar, to turn that would turn to this to settle at Ar, Benishan Ligvul Moab, leaning towards the border of Moab. So it's very cryptic what this is saying. Huh?
Wow. Rabbi, we're reading.
Looking at the roots. Beautiful, beautiful, good. Okay, so this is cryptic, and Rashi's going to explain to us what's going on here. But what is it? The spilling of the streams that turn to settle at Ar. They turn toward the border of Moab. Very cryptic, and Rashi says the following: Rashi, the Eshed HaNecholim, the outpouring of the valleys. Targum shel Shefach Eshed. The Aramaic translation, Shefech, outpouring, spillage, is Shvach HaNecholim, is pouring into the valley. Shenishbach Sham Dam Emorim. What happened was the blood of the Amorites spilled there. Shahayu Nechboim Sham. What happened? They were hiding there. There were very high mountains. The Israelites were going through a valley with high mountains on two sides. Okay? Anachal Amak Bikotzer. By the way, this is Sunday night's class. We spoke about this. This is the what the class was based on. The valley deep and narrow, Harim Smuchim Zelas, and there are mountains near one another. If a person was standing on one mountain, on one side of the mountain, he could speak to his friend Bahar Mizeh on the opposite mountain. They were so close, the mountains on the top, yet a valley on the bottom, right? They were so close you could talk to a person across the mountain, right? You didn't even have to yell like Shimon Leib.
I don't yell either.
You know what I mean. I mean, speak loudly. I didn't mean, Shimon Leib doesn't yell. He just speaks loudly. Didn't even have to do that.
A blessing and a curse at the same time.
So you can speak with a friend from your mountain, and there was a road which the Israelites were now traveling to pass through the valley underneath. So the Amorites said, remember, this is on the border, right? This is bordering Moab and the Amorites by this stream, right? That they're going towards remember on the eastern side of the Jordan River to cross over, right? That's where they're going, towards Israel. So the Amorites said, Israel, when the Israelites will enter in the valley in order to pass through the valley, will come out of the caves that are in the mountains above them, and will kill them. How? With arrows, and with catapult stones, right? They're on top of them, they're below them. So we'll throw down stones, we'll shoot arrows to them. They're sitting ducks. They're sitting ducks. Right? And so they were on there were hollows on the caves on the Amorites where the Amorites hid, but on the opposite mountain, right, which was on the Moabite side. Remember, this is on the border, right? So on the Moabite side, it was the opposite. There wasn't caves, protrusions. There were protrusions, right? Obviously, it was there must have been some kind of like earthquake that happened that split the mountain, right? And therefore, on one side was caves, and the other side was a protrusion. and on the mountainside of the Amorites. Opposite those hollows, Kamin and Karnaim Vishadaim, there were like horn-like and breast-like projections, bolting lachutz that protruded outwards. When the Israelites came past through the valley, Eretz Israel, the mountain of the land of Israel, meaning the land of the Amorites, it would be incorporated in the land of Israel. Earthquake. Happened an earthquake. It trembled. Right? Kishivcha, like a slave woman. She goes out to give it to greet her mistress. Right? Like the maid, she's frightened. Right? So here there was a frightening, there was a movement of the mountains, and they came close, to the side of the mountain of Moab. And those protrusions entered into the hollows, into the caves. But Hargum, what did it do? It killed the Amorites. And this is it says, when it came veered to dwell at Ar, because the mountain veered from its location. It veered from its location when Moab came close to the other side of Moab. And they joined themselves. And this is what it means. Leaning towards the land of Moab.
Oh, Rabbi, excuse me. Could you just
Okay, that's what it means. That it leaned over. And Israel passed through the across the mountaintops, and they didn't know about the miracle. They knew nothing. What happened? But how they know? Through the well. That entered there. Right. So he's going to explain it. Next pasuk will explain it. Umisham be'era hi haber asher amar Hashem laMoshe, and from there the well that which God said to Moshe, Asif is the Abet no lehemayim, gather the people and give them water. Right? There was that well that was underneath that rock, right? That he was supposed to speak to, right? So that was still with them. Now Rashi explains Misham be'era, from the well. Misham ba'eshed shalaber. The outpouring came from the well. Ketsa, how so? Amar Kodesh Baruch Hu, God said, Mi my dear Levanai hanisim halalu. How are my children going to know about this miracle? Remember, they're below, way on top of the mountain. The mountain kind of kissed each other, right? And as a result, killed the Amorites. But they went through, they didn't know of anything. They didn't hear anything. Nothing, right? So God says, how am I my children going to know that I did miracles for them? As the proverb says, if you give bread to the child, let the mother know, right? Sunday night, this was our class Sunday night, if you recall. So after the Israelites passed across the mountain from the the mountains went back to their place, right? The which one stopped the earthquake, so they went back.
But that is a miracle in itself, because mountains just don't kiss and separate.
Right.
So
Exactly. So then what happened? The well went down into the valley, also Misham, and brought up from there Dama Harugim, the blood of those who were killed, and the arms and the limbs, and went around the camp. And the Israelites saw, and they sang a song of praise for the miracle. Right? So in other words, the well went and washed them up. They were mutilated. So there were arms and limbs, right? And the blood that came down into the water and went down into the valley. There was water in the valley, right? And washed it into the valley, and then washed it all around, that the Jewish people saw all of this and they realized a miracle was done. God killed, obviously, the enemy over here. Then what happened? Oz Yashir Israel. Then Israel sang. Right? Remember, we compared this on Sunday. Here, the Jewish people all sang. What happened by the splitting of the sea? Moshe led singing, right? As we explained in the class. So Shira Azois, this song, Alebera on Allah, ascend a well, sing to it. Rashi in 17. Himalab, you're with us. Aliber, come up, oh well, from inside the valley, and they bring up Masha'at Male, bring up everything you bring up. Omanayin, Sha'aber Haidia Lehem. How do we know that the well informed them of the miracle? Shenemar, because in the preceding verse it says Misham Be'era, that from there to the well, Misham Haisa. Now, what was it from there? It says from there to the well. Wasn't it always with them for the 40-year journey in the desert? But what does it mean then that from there to the well? Meaning like as if the well wasn't there with them, but it was there the whole time. So the Farsim and Nisim, but rather it went down into the valley, the Farsim and Nisim, to publicize the miracle. Okay, and similarly, we find as well that to publicize these miracles may be derived from the phrase Oz Yashir Israel, that then saying Israel, Shira Zois Nemra, that this song was said B'Seif Arbaim at the end of 40 years in the desert. Yet the well was given to them at the beginning of 40 years. Why then the Torah is rated over here? Because this matter is interpreted referring to that which is immediately above it. In others, he just wants to show that the well showed them the miracle, because everything in the verses we're speaking about here is not said explicitly, right? It didn't say here the Amorites were killed. It didn't say that. In the words of the verse, right? It's all, and Rashi, remember, he's a simple meaning. If you want to say Midrash, so then Midrash. But Rashi is to give us a simple meaning. How is this a simple meaning over here that this is what happened? So Rashi is learning it in the words very precisely, that Misham Be'era, that from there to the well, it sounds like the well went away from them, but the well was always with them. So he wants to show that it went away only for their sake. What was their sake? That they should know the miracle that God did, that he killed the Amorites. Right. And in the previous verse, look, it says there, in the spilling of the streams that turned to the settle at Ar, that leaned towards the border of Moab. What does it mean they leaned? It means the mountains leaned. That's how Rashi got that they kissed each other, and that's how the Amorites got killed, right? And the spilling of the stream, that means the blood and the limbs of the Amorites that were spilled into the stream. It doesn't say it clearly. Rashi is explaining it, that this is what it's alluding to, right? Even though why it's not saying explicitly the Torah, I don't know. But so it is. Okay. Verse 18. Ber Chafrua. Sorry. A well was dug by princesses. Karua, carved out. The Dive Am, the nobles of the nation. Mechaykek, through B'mechaykek, through the lawgiver. Mechaykek means the lawgiver. B'misha'anoisam, with their staffs. Midbar matana, and from the desert, a gift. Again, very cryptic, right? Everything we've learned today is very cryptic. 18, you see Rashi, Be'er Chafruha, the well they dug by the ministers or the princesses. Zois hi haber, this is the well. Asher chafru asarim, the ministers dug. Moshe and Aaron. Who are the ministers? Moshe and Aaron. Okay. The Mashanayisam with their walking sticks, their staffs b'mata with a staff.
Rashi said upon which the explicit name was engraved.
Yeah.
So was it some sort of divine?
I guess it gave a power to dig. That's the way I understand it. The midbar from the desert, nitna lahem, it was presented to them this gift. What was given to them as a gift is the well, I guess. We're talking about the well. Not exactly clear what it means. The only thing that I understand is because remember, the well was because of Miriam's merits. She passed away at the beginning of the parsha, right? So maybe now it's being gifted to the Jewish people, but not so clear. That's what it means. 19. From a gift to the streams and from the streams to the heights. As Uncle says, since it was given to them, it descended with them to the streams. Okay. The gift is the miracle of God that he did here. That the well was the gift that made them aware of God's miracles that he did for them. Okay? That's the idea. That's what I think that's what it means over here. By the way, you know what that means? Let's do one more verse, okay? And then I'm going to explain over here. We have one verse left, okay? 20. Bamais Hagai, Asher Moya, from the heights of the valley. Bamais means heights. Gai is the valley. Asher Bizdei, which is in the field of Moab. Roisha Pisga, at the top. Roisha means at the head, right? Meaning at the top. Pisga of the peak. Nishkafa al pnei hashimain, that a nishkafa is overlooking on the face of the Shimain wasteland. Okay, let's see Rashi. It's setting us up for tomorrow's class, by the way. Okay, let's see Rashi in 20. Reisha Pisga, at the top of the peak, should be understood. Targuma Unkelis, Reisha Ramasa, at the top of the heights. Pisga, Lashon Goiva means denotes height. The word Pisga. V'chein Pasga Ramanaseha, Pasga Ramanaseha, Gavaya Ramanaseha. Okay. Benishkafa, and it is seen. Isa Pisga, that peak is seen apnei amakim, over the surface of the place. Shishmai Yeshimain, its name is Yeshimain, V'hu Midbar, which is a term of wilderness. Shu Shamim, for it is desolate. Right, it's desolate. Alternatively, we can explain this word nishkafa, right? So the first was that it's desolate, right? That it's desolate. That the well is seen from the surface of Yeshimain, Shenignaza, rather, that it is hidden away. The Yamashel Tiberia, in the Sea of Tiberias. Aimed al Yeshimain, one who stands on Yeshimain, Mabit Veraya, can look out and see. Can mean kavara, a sieve-like shape, by yam, v'yaber, kachra v'emtanchuma. All right. So just briefly, the idea over here. It's a little different in my book than over here sometimes. In the order, at least. So the idea over here is the gift. You know what the gift is? That God allows us to see his hand in our life. You hear that? You hear that, guys? Because that's what happened over here. God killed the Amorites. He saved the Jewish people. They would have been destroyed, right? He saved them. So the gift is not the fact that he destroyed them. The gift is that he let us know about it. That's what the well did. It went out of its normal place, being there with the people, right? That's how Rashi learns it out, because it moved from its place, right? Because it had to go and the mountaintop, right? That's where they were killed, and then flush out the Amorites that were whatever, limbs and stuff, blood and so on, and wash it down the mountain that went into the river that was there. And that the river that the Israelites were passing by, and all of a sudden they see blood, they see limbs, they see arms, they see limbs. Why? Because God is showing them, look what I'm doing for you. I'm here taking care of you. That's right. That's the gift, to be able to see that, to be able to know that. So that's amazing idea. She's saying, like, well, why God have to do all of this? Because if we have miracles always happening to us, but if we don't see them, so what's the point of the miracle, right? What's the point of the miracle? God shows it to us, right? So in Eretz Yisrael, we see miracles, literally miracles upon miracles. God should continue to do even greater miracles, right? Miracles of the biblical proportion. And